Hello everyone and welcome back again to ComHack. We're excited today because we want to talk about search engine optimization. You've probably seen that word floating around if you're ever in the market for like a WordPress website, or if you spend any kind of time on like a Fiverr website. SEO is the term, and we want to talk about ways that you can increase that for your websites through the power of blogging. So Josh, I know that this is something you teach quite heavily in the local university as part of your media class, in terms of, hey, here's some ideas you guys can take away for blogging and how it can help you, just increase your website search. So why don't you tell us more about that?
You probably, if you spent any time at all, or let's just say you bought a domain on GoDaddy.com or something, all of a sudden you start getting all these emails, all these calls, because your information's sold and people are calling to help build you a website or to help you with SEO. And there's tons of services. I get emails daily that I just kind of file in the trash email bin. Emails all the time about people that want to help you with your SEO. And sometimes people don't realize that some things you can do for SEO are actually not that hard. It just takes some intentionality. And one of the things that is a huge increase, or that brings a huge increase in SEO, is blogging. Have you ever blogged before, prior to obviously our current stuff?
Like once. I've written a single blog post.
So when you think of blogging, what do you think of? What is a blog to you?
A blog to me, I actually mostly think of a lot of people writing about their opinions and everyone asking, hey, go read my blog. And it's always somebody on Facebook starting another blog. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So blogging, typically blogging carries this brand, or this, this, you assume if it's a blog, it's somebody's personal opinion, which, okay, so is everything else on the internet, but it's maybe a journal entry, or it's just a place that people get together to bash some company or to some product. Like it's typically got a negative brand, the word blogging. But the reality is, there are many websites that are blogs that we just don't think of as blogs. A good example, Huffington Post. It's a blog. That's all it is. It's just a well-built blog. Many of the sports websites, they're blogs. And it's just, you got sports writers, and they build a brand around it, but ultimately it's nothing more than a blog. And blogs are something that individuals can do, of course, as we know by the journal articles that people, they just post their latest bash fest or whatever. But then there's also blogs that are, authors have blogs, and that builds their audience. Businesses have blogs, and it's something where it's just a regular ongoing feed of content. And there are many ways that can be beneficial. Do you recall any from the class, curiously?
Yeah. I remember, search engines can index up to like 1,000 words from a post, and those words become tags for your website to show up in the search engine.
That's a perfect example of search engine optimization, SEO. So whenever you go to Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever your, Safari, whatever your search engine is, and you type in whatever it might be. Let's say you're a mechanic. You start typing in something for a mechanic, or you're going to go buy, show me the latest sale or some sports thing. You just go search. Well, those search engines, the way that they know what's going on is because they've got these little bots that basically go around and they index websites. They're creating this massive database that when you search through Google, it's looking through that database of content. And those bots index on a regular basis. Well, a website that has a blog is a website that's got one more page that's being indexed. Another thing that happens on those indexed sites is if Google goes through and sees that the last time there was something updated on your website, it also tells the search engine basically that, okay, this is not really a actively changed website. So what you looked at from 6 months ago or a year ago, it's pretty much the same content. You don't need to keep looking back at this. There's very little change. And so as more and more time goes on where you haven't posted something on your site, the the likelihood of your site being at the top of those listings goes down as well, because other people are posting things. And a blog is one of those ways to do it. So it helps with search engine optimization because of the frequency of how often your stuff is getting seen. But it also helps with the SEO because there's more content that's being indexed, like you say.
Sure, and I think that goes back to, a few episodes ago, previously we talked about social media and how posting regularly builds that audience. And so when you do post, there's more people looking at it. I think it's similar in the search engine results, where if your website is always having posts, then it's not going to be inactive, and then people just aren't going to want to see it. It's not going to come up in the search results as often because it's just grown stale.
It also gives reason for your customers or your publics to have a motivation to come to you. So when I was working with a client on building a platform for them, one of the things that we talked about was you got to give how are you going to help the customer? If your only way to help a customer is to tell them you need to buy this product, then the only time they're going to come to you is when they're looking for that product. But if you're giving them how-tos and direction on things, or just tidbits that are in industry specific or that demonstrate that you're an expert in your field, you're also giving them a reason to come back and see you on a regular basis, where not just when they need something, but they're getting something from you always, and that's really beneficial.
So basically, like on our Communication Hack website, whenever we post an episode, we always add the description into the blog post that goes onto our website, because that adds to the search engine optimization, and it also, it puts us into a position whenever we're posting about these things to kind of brand ourselves as experts and say, hey, we can help you in this area. Here's some hacks that you can do.
Yeah. So truth be told, this is obviously somewhat of a young platform for us, and as a result, there are a lot of things that we would like to do. So we want to build our social, we want to build our platform more. At the moment, we're not really doing a whole lot more than the website and what we're doing with this video blog. So if we were to follow what we were saying, what we're talking about, we would move up in the Google rankings. And when we're ready to do that, or when there's more time, obviously we'll do. That's the biggest thing, is time, because you want to be somewhat consistent. But blogging absolutely increases your SEO. And so here's a few statistics. Now, you can look at anywhere online and find a bunch of different ones, because it depends on when they were taken and who took them and what their sampling was. But here are some fun statistics about the difference that blogging makes for you, your platform, your organization. 77% of internet users read blogs. 18.7 million people blog at the time of this statistic. Companies that blog have 97% more inbound links to their website.
Yeah. Also, 37% of marketers believe blogs are the most important type of content marketing. So Josh, help our viewers understand a little bit more of what content marketing is.
So content marketing would be, if I sit here and I tell you, or I tell the viewers, hey, you need to go buy this Coke because it's the best product out there, or this clothing, or whatever it is. If I'm just sitting there telling you, it's obvious advertisement, right? But if every time you see me and I'm a celebrity, I'm wearing the clothes I'm telling you to buy, or I've got a can of Coke in front of me, then by virtue of you seeing it with me, it's content marketing. Or weaving those things into the story of what you're doing, where it's just a part of the story, the guard is down, as a result of the guard being down, you're marketing the product, and it's just within the content of it. So the blog side of things, it gets a lot of credit for content marketing, because as an individual, the people reading don't feel as though I'm being paid by the company I might be talking about, or by the product I might be pushing. I might be just sharing about my experience and how well I like this particular product, ergo content marketing, and why it's so effective, because they don't see me as the actual company, they see me as just somebody who's using the product.
Yeah, so like whenever I'm looking up a recipe to try at home, I go to a particular cooking blog, and they're always posting recipes and like, hey, you should try this because it's always budgeted down and all these things. If that person were to recommend a particular type of food or a particular type of product to buy, I would absolutely go out and buy it, because I trust them enough, because I've spent so much time looking at and reading their content. There's a trust built there.
And it's different because you know that they're they're not just doing it because they're paid to tell you this is a good product. They're talking about it in their personal experience with the product, and so that's content marketing. Another thing is 14% of bloggers at the time of this earn a salary from it with an average annual income of $24,000. So they're making money because they're able to sell ads or even be paid for some of that content marketing. It goes a long way. Okay, and then the last statistic that I found interesting, it says titles, like blog titles with 6 to 13 words attract the highest and most consistent amount of traffic. So
wow.
A longer title actually helps. Might be more to say, but it helps because there's more content, again, being indexed.
Yeah. And I think blogging for all those companies is great, but on a personal level, for somebody who's looking to build their brand and build their social media sphere of influence, blogging is a great way to do that. And I think it's a great way to market yourself as, however you want to market yourself as. And there are some, there's some unique examples of people finding a little niche market that they're like, hey, this is a thing I'm an expert in, or this is a blog type that I'm doing, and they found great success in that.
Well, there's a lot that we could talk about on search engine optimization, on finding your niche. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But until then, I encourage you, share some of these videos, comment on them, let us know if you're enjoying them, and if there's any topic ideas that you might have for us to tackle in a future ComHack episode, please let us know. I'm Josh Weiss.
I'm Tim Jones.
And we'll see you later on ComHack.